notice that this talk is about how to balance your life, how to get a better sense of balance. Yeah? Great. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is to put down your spoons and forks and knives, stand up out of your chairs, and without the aid or assistance of your friend next to you, a chair or the table, I would like everyone to stand and balance on one foot. I want to let you off the hook. There's no such thing as having a fully balanced life all the time. It is so unattainable, so stop trying to be perfect. Do you get that? Stop it. Give yourself permission. Well, it just so happened the restaurant was right next door to a bakery. I said, boys, you want to go next door and get your desserts at the bakery? They're like, yeah, of course. So, what do they get? Those big old bakery cookies, right? With all the frosting and the smiley face. We didn't have time to eat at the bakery because we needed to be someplace else. So they put it in that little, plastic or the little paper bag. And we got back into the car and we're all getting buckled in and settled into the car. And I take a moment and I look behind me to make sure my boys are safely buckled in before I, go in reverse. And for a moment, my heart stops. I literally stop breathing, and my stomach tightens up in a knot because what do I see? Crumbs going all over the back seat of my car. And I literally froze. And I remember thinking, I wanted to say, boys, can you try and get the crumbs back into that bag and just put it right under your mouth like this? They're 11 and 6. Who cares? But really, in that split-second moment, I let out a breath, and I started to think to myself, we're having a great day. They're getting along. Look at them. They're devouring these yummy cookies. What matters most here? What you get to do is really determine where in your life things are humming and where in your life things are not humming and need some energy and some time. So you get a feel for some prioritization. And even though you may rank something low, it's a 0 to 10 scale, and if you rank it a 2 or a 3, maybe that's okay because it's not a priority area for you. But if you rank it a 2 or a 3 or a 4, and it is an important area in your life for the next 90 days or 6 months, then you know that there's probably something that you can do to start taking action and moving forward. So understanding where you currently are, and I know that's hard because we're that gerbil on the wheel, and to even stop and reflect and see what's working and not working, this tool is very simple and we'll let you do that. Honoring your values, your core personal values, are an essential component to having a balanced life. So what are values? It's really what's most important to you, right? It's those things that you cannot live without. You need to have them in your life in order to feel fulfilled and satisfied. What can you not live without? And so one woman kind of sheepishly raised her hand, and she said, well, I can't live without chocolate. Got to have it in my life. Really important. So everybody kind of snickered, and I said, well, that's great. I said, but what does chocolate provide for you? What does that mean for you? And then she kind of took a deep breath, and she looked up, and with this smile in her face, she said, self-indulgence. Chocolate gives me self-indulgence. I need to have some self-indulgence in my life. It's really important to me. So now we've just converted chocolate to self-indulgence. So my point is that there are so many different ways that we can interpret this picture. So I invite you to play around with this concept that there are so many different ways that we can interpret what appears to be our truth. Well, it is being very clear about your yes and no buckets. It's about, this is a priority, this is a yes in my life, and anything that falls out of, that bucket, I just need to say no to right now. And you've got to feel empowered by that and not have guilt around it. The litmus test question applies here as well. Will that action step move me closer to what I want, or will it move me further away? We know where we are. We know where we want to be. We have a little bit of a plan around what's a priority, what our goals are. This is where the rubber hits the road, so they say. This is where we start to really get in action. This is where we translate our intentions and what our plans are into real action.